How much HBAR do you need to be a part of the 1%? That question will be answered in this video. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about a few things. So the overall turbulence in the market has given us some great opportunities. In fact, right now, 1,000 HBAR cost us less than $50. That's right, for $48.42 at the time that I am recording this video. That will get you 1,000 HBAR. 100,000 HBAR costs about $4,840. Again, that is crazy to me, especially if we go back to just recently. I mean, let's just go back to, we're talking about April. Guys, back in April, this would have cost you well over almost $16,000. You can get 100,000 for less than $5,000. And if we go all the way back to the 2021 highs, well, let's just say it's pretty crazy. All right. If we are really addressing this, and if we're talking about the future around this space, are these altcoins like HBAR or even XRP or Casper or whatever the case may be, are they guaranteed to go up in value? No. In fact, anyone that is guaranteeing you anything in this space should be avoided. But if we are talking about some of these projects and if we are addressing the fundamentals behind them, and we're also talking about all the partnerships, the announcements, the use cases, and we're talking about live use cases as well, I do think that there is a high probability that a lot of these projects are going to be very, very valuable and also go up significantly in value. And HBAR is one of them. Let's talk about it. Let's start off with this going all the way back to August of 2021. And I actually remember this podcast specifically because it was around the time where I was heavily looking into Hedera after doing some substantial research back in 2020 into 2021. And then this podcast came out where Lehman Baird himself said that Hedera has become one of the most used ledgers on the market, along with the understanding of what it takes to develop a 100-year company. For those that are new to the channel or even new to Hedera, yes, their overall goal is to make Hedera a 100-year company. Hedera will be around for the next 5 years, 10 years, and 100 years. And there is no doubt about that in my mind. And the reason why I say that is because of the technology around it, the partnerships that it has, the work being put into it, but also the outlook on this technology. Blockchain, DLT, crypto, it's not going away. It's only becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is not going to slow down. In fact, we have a lot to go off of to actually explain that it is going to continue to rise and grow and become even more valuable. And it's simply off of the past, but also the documents being pushed by the BIS, the IMF, and so many large organizations around our monetary system. Now, also, Hedera has the technology to back it. The scalability of Hedera, combined with the fact that it is very green versus even Visa or, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Tezos, Algorand, you name it. Hedera is the greenest and one of the most efficient DLTs in this space for anyone and everyone. And even right now, as we really kind of look at transactional flow, well over 67 billion now, roughly 1,700 TPS currently. The demand of Hedera is significant. But the thing that I really look at when it comes to these transactions is the 100% undeniable fact that Hedera is extremely scalable and can handle any scalable use case that you throw at it. Also, the use cases, the ecosystem. It is one of the largest ecosystems in this space. We have been keeping a close eye out on this for a very long time. Has stacked enterprise applications, has stacked Web3 applications. There is so much going on around Hedera. And even as we do really kind of look at this ecosystem overview. It's a little bit outdated. There's been a lot more names added to this, but it is so significant. And it just continues and continues to grow and grow and grow. And it's going to continue to do so. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why I'm so sure about that, is because of the technology behind it, but also look at what happened this year. What happened this year? Well, institutionalization of this space started to happen. Big players like BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, they're all going big on tokenization. And if we go back over here to Hedera's website and we actually go to the use cases, we have real world asset tokenization. Now, if we actually click this and it takes a second to load, we could see the full breakdown of tokenization on Hedera. Specifically, we could see the tokenized assets, the value on it, the TVL on Hedera. We could see the ecosystem market cap on Hedera. We could see, a few insights on why Hedera is one of the best platforms out there to actually tokenize on. We have Aberdeen and Archix, which are two large players stacked that are tokenizing on Hedera. And then we also see all of the other names here as well. And you can look at all of them on here if you wanted to. But it just goes to show you that, yes, Hedera pretty much is the one-stop shop for pretty much everything Web3. I mean, if we're talking about use cases, we have the data integrity and AI, we have RWA tokenization, decentralized identity, DeFi, payment sustainability. It has everything. It is a stacked network with a ton of great use cases still ongoing in terms of development, but some of them are live. But this is not the only thing. And now I want to give a big shout out to Adrian KBL, co-founder and CEO of Kabila app, who actually look at this. It's almost like a one-pager of Hedera. It shows you some great insights that Hedera has to offer, some important applications in the Hedera ecosystem as well to focus on. But the main thing that I really want to take from this is the 4 key insights: carbon negative commitment, low cost immediate settlement, massively scalable, and fairest access and ordering. All of these things go hand in hand on making Hedera the number one choice whenever it comes to an enterprise, an institution, or even just an end user or developer. Hedera is one of the best Web3 networks out there. And no, I'm not saying that as a biased HBAR creator or anything like that. No, I actually started to heavily focus on Hedera and HBAR back in 2021 because of how efficient it was and the technology that it had to offer. But why is all of this important? Well, because if we are addressing jumping into the 1% group around HBAR, we need to understand on why it's important to even want to be in the top 1%. And all of this information that I just went over solidifies that Hedera will be around for the next 100 years and beyond, but also it will become very valuable. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Now, there's over 6.4 million accounts. We don't know how many wallets are within Hedera. Now, there is a user by the name of Pew Pew Rhinos, which we will talk a little bit more about here in a second, that actually put together a few images regarding the rich list. This was the first one. I believe that this was from like the beginning of 2022. Then this was the second one by him around the end of 2022. And by the way, here you guys have his @name. If you guys do want to go follow him. And then this is the most up-to-date one. Now, the number one thing to take from all 3 of these images, and this one was from like the middle of 2023, by the way. So again, it's like a little outdated. But the number one thing to take from all of these is the fact that not much has really kind of changed around the amount of, wallets and things like that that are holding these significant amounts of HBAR. But what's crazy, and I don't really want to say like, oh, these are very inaccurate, but what's crazy to me is that there's over 6.4 million accounts. And if we look at this rich list, let me open this up in a new tab so that you guys can see this. Let me zoom in real quick. So if we actually look at this, we can see 46 wallets are holding roughly 100 million HBAR or more. And then we have 50 million or more, up to about 100 million, 117, 10 million plus, 234, 5 million, 339, and the list goes on. But what's crazy is if we actually look at this, and let's just kind of round around a little bit to like 76,000, 100,000, 176,000. I mean, it's significantly less than like almost 1 million total wallets here. So we're not even at like the halfway point of these accounts. So how many accounts are holding less than 1,000? It has to be very, very significant amount. In fact, most of those accounts are not holding 1,000 or more. So if we are looking at this, what percentage would you need, or what amount would you need to be in the 1% area? Well, roughly 1 million. But the problem with this chart is that it doesn't give us enough information to go off of to actually properly calculate the 1% range. Because even if we're looking at the XRP rich list, we could see that it's the percentage down here on the left. We could see 1% is like 53,000 XRP. And this is because we actually have a full on calculation of, for example, a sum with XRP of 0 to 20, for example, that are actually holding 0 to 20 XRP, or 20 to 500 XRP, or 500 to 1000. And that's when we start to see the number of accounts taper off greatly. I would argue that we kind of have the same outlook here when it comes to HBAR, which means that your actual 1% range on this is significantly lower than just 1 million HBAR. I would say to actually get into like the top 1%, you're probably looking at a much lower amount of HBAR than 1 million, probably somewhere around, I would say, like 10,000 HBAR. And the reason why I say this is because if we're looking at all of these number of wallets here, it's only roughly about 382,000 wallets. There's still well over 6,000 plus additional wallets, or if, in this case, accounts, which I don't think that accounts are the same as wallets in this situation. But regardless, if we're just going off of these accounts, there's still well over, 6 million allocated accounts that are not on this list. So what is the actual 1% amount of HBAR that you need to be holding? Nobody really knows right now. And the data is actually very hard to look at when it comes to this. But one thing that is very interesting about this list, if it is accurate, is that all of these top amounts of HBAR, these wallets that are actually holding a very significant amount of HBAR, more so going all the way down to like 100,000. So 100,000 or more HBAR being held, these wallets that make up less than, 100,000, they are responsible for over 20 billion HBAR. In fact, the actual number is 20,109,250,000 HBAR held by the amount of wallets that are holding 100,000 to 100 million plus HBAR. That's a crazy amount of the supply gone in just the accounts or wallets that are holding 100,000 plus HBAR. So that's why I say to be in that top 1%, I would argue that it's significantly lower than 1 million, but nobody really knows for sure what that number is. What do you guys think it is? Down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you guys did enjoy this video though, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.